Alright, so in this video, we'll talk to you about how to do the nitty-gritty details on how to create pages, okay? So in Snaps, the Snap Builder, this is the thing that we have right now, is basically what you want to do is decide up front on what you want to do when it comes to the layout, meaning not layout, but the fonts of your tags, as well as the fonts of your content. So meaning whatever style they're on, whether they're Arial or Times New Roman or whatever, you want to decide that up front. And what you want to do is basically go here to the design. You want to go to the global text and modify it here. This is the content. This is H1 tag, H2 tag, H3 tag, whatever, all through H6 tags. This is where you can edit it. You can use a different font, you can different font size or whatever. Okay, so you want to decide that up front on the style that you want your content to be. And ideally, what you want to do is to have that style reflect on whatever the market or niche that we're getting into. Okay. And of course, you can even decide all this stuff, like all the buttons that you're going to be thinking of. Global images, you're not probably going to use. When it comes to background, you can have background. This just means it's transparent. Default row spacing or page spacing, and column spacing. Actually, these are kind of pretty much the same, actually. But yeah, so you want to decide that up front. You can just leave it as default, whichever may be the case. But the idea is you want to be able to decide as many things as possible from the very get-go, instead of going in here and changing each block of text. Like, for example, if you didn't decide what your style is going to be, and you have to change each one of the text box to be the size that you want. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure to just decide from the very get-go and not have to worry about having to micromanage each one of these text blocks or each one of these title tags. Alright? So that's the very first thing. And then the second thing is that the way this works is that each page are made with blocks. As you can see, the rows, as you can see here, it's built with rows. So each one's gonna have a row, and if you want to add an additional column, you basically click onto your row and you would add additional column, and that would give me an empty box. Whether I want to put a photo here or whatever, I can go to widget, and basically I can put even an audio. Let's say I want to put a photo here. It even has an automatic auto image generator. I can put in cars. Let's say, I don't know, I want to have a picture of a car here. There you go, I have a car there. And then if I'm not happy with the way how big it is or how small it is, you can change the size, of course, but you can also change the margin within the box. So you can think of this as a container. So your row is your biggest container, and your columns within that row is your secondary container, and then the other containers are within that are the items, like for example, the titles, in this case, the header, and then the content. You can even have icons. See, you see how this is a row? And if you want to copy over the row of something, let's say you right click here, I right click there, and press copy, and what you want to do is right click here, paste, and whenever you do copy and paste of a row, it usually pastes it on top of whatever you're copying and pasting. Okay, as you can see, I copied and paste, it's right on top of it. I'll delete that. Same thing here, you can do the same thing. I can copy and paste this. Let's see here, and then of course this is different. This is the different type of widget. In this case, this is a photo gallery content, so you can look at that. Not widget, but it's here. You can search here Yeah, photo gallery, this is what they're using. So there's different types of widgets that you can use to be able to make it look pretty. There's even some built-in ones that are within the site. Like for example, if you go to add sections, you can have, I don't know, let's do text blocks. You can see how you have different styles of text block that you have already, that's already pre-made. So it's easy for us to do. See that? And of course you can create your own to be as creative as possible. Yeah, let's see here. And there's also these things. You see how there's this little icon here. This icon basically tells you that it's a connected data, meaning that it's within whatever this information is. It's within your content page. For example, in this case, this site is about auto repair, and it's in this address. We have this phone number, email here, and how I can call out to that is basically I would, like, let's say I want a new line here. Okay, I want to do the squiggly lines, 2 of them, and you see how there's a connected data here where I can just pull up whatever I had in the content from earlier that I was just showing you, and that's how it's connected. So that means actually the font of this is weird. So see, this is the thing that I'm talking about. You have to make sure that you decide that up front. Anyway, so it's a connected data, meaning if I were to change this, if I were to change the business info to like 607 or 607 Broadway, 600 Broadway, if I change that, I don't know, it could be anything. Actually, this is just the name, so it doesn't even have to, you don't even have to name it. But if I were to change the location, this would change also. You see how the address changed? So that's what connected data are. And if you want to do hyperlinks, there's 2 types of hyperlinks, meaning if I were to highlight the page, I do a hyperlink. Either it's a pop-up or a direct URL. So there's 2 types. Or if you want to do an existing one where you can choose within the site itself. Basically, this is a general one. This one is the existing one. And of course, there's pop-ups and stuff, but most of the time you're going to be using the existing one, either the email address or call to click type of button. So for example, the call to click is this. So let's say I want people to, whenever they click this, they would go to call to click and whatever my number is. So in their iPad or on their phone, if they were to go to my site and they click on this schedule by verifier, let's say click to call, let's say something like that, right? Whenever they click this or press this with their thumb, it's gonna ring. Again, the idea here is that you want this to be aesthetically pleasing for both Google and the customer, and you want to make it easy for the customer to call as easy as possible, right? So ideally I would like to have like a number here, a number down here, and maybe another click to call here or something like that. But that's the idea. So there's going to be another number here, and even on the description. Remember our description earlier? I would like you to have like some kind of description here, and then there's going to be a number of that site within that within the description. So whenever people are Googling stuff, like for example, Fullerton Home Painters, let's say, let me spell painters. Let's say this. Basically, the description and stuff. This is what you're gonna see. Let's see here. Let's see interior painters Fullerton. Let's see my site. It's pulling up my other one. Let's see if there's an interior. it's not pulling, it's basically pulling up my home page. But yeah, so anyway, ideally I would like to have the phone number here, but for some reason this is pulling up the old version of my home page. But anyway, it's not a big deal, but that's what I'm talking about, where the description, this is where the description will show. And ideally, I would like to have a phone number down here so people don't even have to click on the site for them to call. They can just call right from the get-go. Alright? Alright, let's see here. Am I forgetting anything else? And I think that's it. So, of course, the service page, don't do the our team here, but service page, location page, it's pretty much the location page is basically the same exact, not the same exact thing, but you kind of talk about the same thing, making sure that it's not the same content, duplicate content, but you're talking about a different city. Am I forgetting anything else? Yeah, everything else is pretty much just, you're gonna have to try it out, and you can have you can try these widgets out, but the most popular ones are probably just content, text, or H1 tags, H3 tags. These two are the same exact thing. It's just that the default is just H1 and H3. So you can go from H3 and change it into H1. So that's no big deal. Same thing with text. You can put it into text and then change it to H1. Like for example here, this is, for some reason it's on header 4. I can change it to heading 2 or heading 1, you know, or whatever you need at that time. Okay. Am I forgetting anything else? Also, when it comes to photos, you want to have some kind of alt text. This is basically just describing whatever the photo is, and ideally you would like to have some keywords in there. But just describe it how it is. You're basically going to say this is, in this case, let's say spray painting, right? This is spray painting a car. Spray painting. White paint. That's it. You would basically describe what you're looking at. Yeah, I think that's all for now. And then if you have any questions, oh, for some reason I got lost connection, but let's end it here. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be here. Bye.